This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Salt X 6000 by Tsunami. It came out last fall of 2019. Um, I don't really need to say that I have had quite an extensive video on it. I've spoken a lot on it. I've advised a lot on it. And it was one of my biggest videos of 2019. I stopped filming, and it's because I wanted to give it another opportunity. From previous failures and replacements, I did say that I wanted to just put it in my showcase and say that I had it, and that whatever the case. But when I was using it when I first got it, first thing I did not notice, I did not know, was an insider secret, was that I was sold a prototype. And that's probably going to be the first topic I'm going to discuss, is that some of you are going to be hearing professional paid YouTubers and professional anglers who will insert the word prototype. That's a legal terminology just as much as it is a production terminology. By using the word prototype, if it fails, then it's like, okay, it's all right, it was a prototype. If it doesn't fail, then oh great, this is a great prototype. But it kind of is putting yourself in a fine line with legal, and that's why they use the word prototype. I've never used the word prototype because I didn't know that they were putting prototypes in retail stores. All right, I got mine from Bernie's. You can check the videos on my channel, the unboxing and the purchase of it, and I was very excited. It had a lot of promise. Coming from Van Staal, as a Van Staal user, I immediately noticed a lot of similarities in construction and design. What I did not realize was the difference in their design from the Van Staal is what is making it fail, in my opinion. And I will point those out to you. This video is also a request by many of my subscribers who are interested in purchasing this, and they want to know if it would be a good investment. And when I use the word investment, I am talking about something that lives up to its standards, something that performs the way it states that it would perform, as well as the quality of the construction and build and material, which makes it an investment. It does not make it an investment because it's a $300 or so reel. It makes it an investment because of what its design capabilities, or what the manufacturer specifically says that it's capable of. And so with that being said, I do think it is a good reel. Okay, it for every fish that I caught on it, it performed the way it's supposed to, period. I am an aggressive surf fisherman, jetty, chunking bait, as well as using lures. And the conditions and environment in which I come from in my fishing method is that there is a lot of sand. There is a lot of splash. So yeah, exposure is extreme, to be in certain conditions and to fish in certain conditions that I fish in. Now, without going further too much into the backstory, as I stated, I got the Salt X. I compared it with my Van Staal VSX 200. The reason why I did so is because of its advertisement, the way it was advertised, completely fully sealed, stainless steel gear, S drive, um, 14 internal seals, and aluminum. You know, I mean, if you look at it the way it is right now, bailess, it looks just like a van stall. But there are major differences between this and a van stall, and those differences is what I say is preventing this to become a great reel. Right? It's a good reel, but it's not a great reel, and it can be, and it could be a great reel. So I did the side-by-side tests. I fished both reels. This was on my I even gave this an advantage. I put this on my Legend Surf 11 footer St. Croix, and then I put my Van Stall on the Team Daiwa 11 foot. And so, you know, I gave it every advantage you could have. We fish shark, we fish blues, we fish gator blues, we fish stripers, porgies. Everything was beach related. I did not want to do a pier comparison because, you know, in a pier you're protected from the environments and elements mostly because you're not exposed to the water, not exposed to the sand. Some of the problems which, you know, with sharks in New York is that sharks will break just about any rod holders in the sand, you know. And so when a shark takes it, which was the case with this, shark took it. It was like about a 4.5, 5 foot shark. Took it, broke the rod holder. Legend, St. Croix, and this going into the surf through the sand, and boom, grabbing the thing, landing the shark, releasing the shark. So yeah, that's the kind of things that this is supposed to be designed to be able to withstand. It does not. You have to be very careful. So these are some of the things that I want to give advice to everyone on how to maintain. The first thing is, yes, this is bailess. The conversion is extremely easy. The kit comes, the box comes with the bailess kit, everything, okay? I find that the bailess system works great. I did most of my tests on the bail, and my Van Stall is bailess. I didn't believe that that was a disadvantage or advantage of either. I think it was a fair way of comparing them. But let me show you something. So you get this beautiful counterweight right here that you install with provided equipment, and then this right here is also a counterweight. Okay, and then you're literally just locking your bail. You're locking your bail right here in this hole. You're locking your bail with a screw that they provide, and I mean, that's pretty much it. This is how clean it should always be after every fishing, and I'll show you how to do that, or I'll explain to you how this is done. If you don't keep it clean like this, you're gonna have problems. But how to keep it clean like this, that's what I'll explain to you. I use pen grease blue on all the areas. Okay, be generous with it. Okay, now on the first breakdown. Okay, so Salt X, they drill these holes. So this hole was drilled by the tech at the factory, and of course he missed, so that's why I have grooves here. I didn't do that. He did when he missed, when his drill bit missed. And then there's another hole here which has no reason whatsoever. And then there's another hole here which will be covered by this conversion kit. Now this hole I always cover it with pen because this hole goes down to here, and as you can see, you can't get to it right easily. You just can't get to it. Now inside here, okay, there is AR clutch mechanism, right? And there's a plastic cover. See that plastic cover? This thing is so electrically charged when you reel it. Okay, this type of plastic they use, it's very electrically charged, and what that means is, if you are in the water or in the sand will get in, the grits will get into this, and you can't rinse it off. You just can't. What you have to do is literally just take your time and do your best, and using force with water, or just shaking it really heavy, and but you got sand is going to get into this plastic and into this groove all the way around, it goes all the way around, and you're gonna have problems. Okay, your air clutch is going to start to fail, sand gets in there, and your O-rings and everything's gonna bust, and then you won't be able to crank it. Like when you try to crank it, you're and then when you get through it, that's when you get the squeak of death. That's it. Once you get the squeak of death, that means your air clutch has been compromised, water has gotten into it, it's gotten into the internals, and what you're eventually doing is you're literally riding on metals, as well as the whole fact that your seals and everything, so it's off the line and everything. Okay, they have a great drag knob. I love it. It's just like the Van Staal, where it doesn't just come out. It's see I can pull the whole thing out without losing the drag knob, and that's because they did the same thing as the Van Staal, which is like a pressurized system. Okay, where it sucks itself in. I don't know how they did that, but yeah. So here, so there's an O-ring, see, and an O-ring, and it just creates a vacuum. It creates a vacuum. So when it lays in there, it creates a vacuum, and then the O-ring gives it additional sealant. When you just push it in like that, and boom. And yeah, it's cute. It's called a hammer. Yeah, they call it the hammer. Yeah, so you just put it back in, get into the groove. Now, you want to hear this. You got to hear that, okay? If you don't hear that, you got issues. All right, so you want to hear that first. Push it down, tighten it. Don't tighten too much when you're not fishing. You want to put too much pressure on that. And yeah, bailess. I think bailess is the best idea for it. There's greater balance. There's just overall greater feel. Now, most people can't fish bailess. It's not difficult. You're just replacing the bell with your finger, and the way that it's designed, where your finger, it'll catch. You see right here. Watch. See this is the line right here. It's gonna catch. You just go there, just turn it, let go, boom, and the line will catch here. Raise your rod up, tension creates, boom. That's it. You want to take it out? It's real simple. You go here, up to it, pull it up, put it behind the line, boom. You just cast like you normally do. Okay. The learning curve on a bailess isn't that far. You just don't be afraid, don't be worried, just do it, and you'll find it's very good. Now, what I mean by it is also, I noticed that when the bell was on, right, when I turned it, I felt because it's a huge bell, and I felt the woof, 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 like it was just pulling down. Without the bell, it's just your line. It's just your line, your worm gear, and the strength and drag control. That's it. And that's why I feel that it's better bailess. Now, let's get into its main problem, which is, of course, the fact that everybody's talking about the squeak of death when they get it. People who are very experienced and even maintaining reels can't figure out why, after they get into a situation and then they're like, oh my God, why can't I just get rid of this squeak of death? Well, I'm going to tell you everything about the squeak of death, how to avoid it, how to get out of the situation of the squeak of death, and overall, how to just make it work for you. Be right back. Okay, so I'm back. Let's talk about electricity. Let's talk about metallurgy. Let's talk about aluminum. Okay, let's talk about centrifugal force. Okay, all right, so here's the deal, okay? When you're surf casting with this, if it falls into the sand, do not crank it. at all. Do not crank it. No. When it drops into the sand, here's the sand. When it drops into the sand, all right, all of this is gonna have sand. Okay, all of this is gonna have sand. All of this is gonna have sand. All right, these are all entry points. Now, the machining of this reel is so horrible. It's really rough edges. It's not polished correctly. This roughness of the surface will keep sand grit on the body. It doesn't wash off. Yeah, it doesn't wash off. So if you ever drop it into sand, okay, what you want to do is you want to turn this slightly and feel for a stiffness or grittiness. All right, if you feel that, don't crank this, okay? Because if once you crank this, you're gonna destroy the AR, period. If there's sand and grit, all right? So what you want to do now is, if you got water, like fresh, clean water in abundance, right? What you want to do is you want to pour into here, okay? You want to pour into here, and you want to keep shaking until, and you want to look at this white plate. This very white plate. You want to look at that all the way around. You want to see that there's not any or very, very little sand grits, okay? And then you continue to rinse it. Now, if you're near the water and you want to take a quick shortcut, there's no shortcut. Do not, I repeat, do not dunk this at the very lip of the surf, because that's where the current, the surf comes and it picks up the sand. You know, that's what the fish, you know, they feed on, these little critters that come off from the sand. And that's at the lip, heavily. I don't care if you got crystal clear water. I don't care if you can see through the water and like, oh, I don't see no sand. There is sand there. Don't do it. Walk further down. If it's cold, I don't know, okay, whatever. Walk further down until you're like about waist, chest deep, if you can, okay? Get that water. That water won't have the sediments on top. Most sediments are down by that. By that reach, the sediments are down. You're not gonna get the issues that is gonna destroy your reel. So how do you do it? So what you do is you use force to hit the reel into the water, but make sure that these are exposed, and you hit the water, you hit the water, you hit the water, you hit the water. That forcing this water upwards, out, okay? You hit it. Now you shake it out, and then you slightly crank. Now if it can move freely, you're good. Now once you get a full circle with no grit, do it one more time, but this time do not crank underwater. Do not crank this underwater like a Van Staal or a Z-Bass. Do not do what you can do in a Van Staal. Do not, okay? I thought that doing that clears it out because you're in the water. No, that doesn't do it, okay? That would destroy it. What you want to do is you want to crank it out of the water after shaking it. Crank it, shake it, crank it, shake it, get it to the water again. Look for the openings, get the openings ready. Shoom, shoom. Bring, slide, like grate the water. Grate the water with these grooves so that the water just flows through and goes out here. Grate the water, shake, smooth again. Okay, you're back in action. That is how you do with sand. That is how exactly you do with sand. When I went out first time, it happened. It fell in sand immediately. I couldn't crank. Like, I just couldn't crank. So I stopped. I walked out. Boom, did it. Came back alive. Okay. There, the AR's clutch has a big bolt. And if you look carefully, which you won't be able to see, but the bolt does start to, the nut will start to separate a little bit. You'll see a little bit. When you get this real new, and when you've used it for even up to like 3 months, even right, and maintaining it, washing it, Tsunami uses a grease. It's white. I don't know what the hell it is. They use it everywhere, 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 everywhere. I mean, everywhere. You're gonna have white grease everywhere, and this white grease, oh my god, it's very good, right? But it will grab all this sand and all this grit. It will grab sand, grits. And so one of the things they do is, as part of their protection plan is, they put all this white grease everywhere, all the white grease inside of everywhere, gaskets here, everywhere, white grease everywhere. Okay, so but that white grease, is to keep its fluidity and all that stuff, but it does grab a lot of grit, and the grit will not come off in conventional water. You just got to be patient. I use about 20 Q-tips, right, to get all into this here. And when I get home, I use about 20 Q-tips for all the areas that I need. Okay, everything just clean, lubricated. Here is the difference between this and a van stall. Okay, so you see you have this groove here, right? You can't get into clean, even though you got a bell here, right? So now in a van stall, this is the whole area here. This whole area just is accessible. It's not covered by this top plate. Okay, the whole entire area is accessible, and you can wash it off and clean it. Boom, no problem. You can't do that with this. That's the biggest problem they have, is you can't get in here to clean it properly, and one little sand grit is gonna eventually, if it gets into your rubber gaskets, that's it. It's gonna rip it. As soon as you turn this, you just rip your gasket. That's it. Water's gonna get in, and salt, and then you're gonna destroy your reel. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Do I recommend it? I do recommend it. I don't recommend it as a high end. I don't recommend it as a fully sealed like a van stall. I don't recommend it as something that you can go out comparably like a van stall. It is a decent reel. It is very powerful. It can handle fish, big game fish, and the only downside is that it's very difficult to maintain. You have to be very patient. If you are a patient person and you do want to maintain this, it is possible. This is June 2020. I started using this in April, and cold condition. Now it's hot conditions, and I almost had it fail, but with my technique of cleaning it out in the field, I was able to maintain it. It hasn't had any problems for me whatsoever. Everything that it does, it casts great, it reels, it's sensitive, and drag control is awesome. But like I said, it's just a high maintenance mid-level reel. Final thoughts. High maintenance mid-level reel. The Tsunami Salt X 6000. If you want to consider purchasing it, go ahead. I think it's a great reel. But again, it's high maintenance. So if you're not into high maintenance, all maintenance is important. But when I say high, I mean it does take extra steps. It takes extra step. It takes really looking at it, understanding how the parts are connected and how you can clean the parts. If you do that on a daily basis, yes, on a daily basis, after fishing, whatever it is, just sit down with a beer and do what you got to do, and it should last you. It should be great. And on a final note, they do have great warranty. I went through a little bit of trauma with their warranty because it was the beginning stages. They didn't have their logistics properly and all that stuff, and there was a lot of secrets that were kept about what it really was and what was going on. So there were some delays in my replacement, but their warranty is great. If anyone has any warranty questions on how to deal with warranty, you can message me. I will do my very best. I do have direct contacts with them, and I can point you and guide you to getting your reel replaced or repaired. Mine was repaired. It didn't work still, so I got a replacement, and been happy with it since. And that's my final recap of 2020 for the Salt X Tsunami 6000. Thank you. Subscribe, like, dislike. Let me know how you feel about this video. Have a great day. Fish on tight lines, OFD.